Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And on this one, I'm playing my Cleric, who is level 9. In fact, I'll show you real quick how far into level 9 he is. We're over in Crushbone, and we are killing at the Taskmaster's camp over here. He actually spawns right over here next to the fire, right there to the right of it. He also has a few more who spawn around. As you saw, one just spawned right there in the back. He's actually green. I got that orc right here, who's Orc Pawn. We're just placeholders for some of the higher level ones. But normally you will see these Centurions that are pretty decent level, usually blue around level 9. Legionnaires who are still red at this level. The Taskmaster himself, I believe, is level 14. And so he's red at this level still as well. Just making sure they're okay. He's asking for a soak because he's the pooler. He's actually a rogue that we have as the pooler, which is crazy because rogues usually will never be the pooler. You don't really want the attention on the rogue because they have backstab. They want to be behind the mob doing all the damage. So it has to be kind of a change for him to actually be the main tank and the pooler as well. Because it's really not taking full advantage of his class doing that. But we also have another rogue here who is Kyle or whatever. He's a rogue as well, so we still have the backstab in there. We also have a shaman, a wizard, and what was the other class? Shaman, wizard, and I'm not sure what Ricky is. I think he's a warrior. Let's who all real quick and see. Nah, he's a cleric as well, so we got two clerics in here, which is kind of nice. And I didn't realize that. When I first got on today, there was no groups that wanted a cleric in Crushbone. I believe there was one group in here who was at the wall. It was a full group at the wall. And then there was a few stragglers that were looking for groups. And apparently they had been looking for groups a while because they were all just kind of killing things here and there, not really doing too much in the way of experience, but they were all just kind of sitting around waiting. And it's just sometimes it boggles my mind why people won't take the initiative to put a group together. I mean, it didn't really take me that long to do it. It took me like I think a total of 6 or 7 minutes to put a group together. And how long had they been sitting there waiting for somebody to do that? Because it was obviously easy for me to do it. I came in, oh, there's 3 or 4 guys sitting here looking for a group. Click, 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 click. Boom, I'm done. Basically. And they could have easily have done that too. So I don't know. I mean, it's just some people don't want to do the group. Some people do. He's not killing the pawn, but he should because that's a placeholder that could spawn anywhere from just a regular centurion all the way up to a legionnaire. There's slavers over here who are kind of high level as well, where you get a decent amount of experience. And if you're doing really, really well, and you think that you're probably too high, or you're kind of outgrowing the area that you're in over here, and the throne room is open, you can go ahead and move inside the throne room. The throne room is really good experience. They spawn really quickly, which is why you have to be ready for it. But they also drop an enormous amount of belts and shoulder pads in there. That's a great place to come if you're kind of bored over in Unrest. You're a little too high for this zone for the most part, but you're just not able to get any groups over there at the moment. And you're able to solo, you can come over here, go to the throne room, and rack up quite a bit of a collection of those belts and shoulder pads, which then you could either sell or turn into the quest for the actual experience. Now, around that level, you're probably not going to make that much experience off of it. It's going to be, pretty low on what you're getting. But, anything's better than nothing, especially if you're stuck and you're just not able to. I'm going to get the aggro here in a second. That was going to happen. There's no good, alternative tactic that you can really use in that situation. It's either heal the tank or let him die. And letting him die is really not an option because if he dies, then you're going to die. I mean, you've got to have somebody who can tank. Heal these guys, pay attention to what's going on. It's a good thing we got an extra healer here that really helps out when he's taking damage like that, to be able to counteract it, to be able to keep up with the damage he's taking and not let him drop too fast, too far. And even with 2 healers, sometimes we're not able to keep up with it. Always kill the oracles first, guys. Oracles are definitely a pain. They do so much damage, which is why I think he's actually taking as much as he is. Because their spells just hurt for so much. It's not even funny. Out of power. Go ahead and sit back down. He did not like that at all. Let's see, is the named up? Yep. The Taskmaster is up. But unfortunately we have no power, so we're going to have to wait on that pull. But he can pull some of these other ones who are around, the Centurion who's walking by, and level 9 Bard looking for group. So yeah, my suggestion, guys, would be if you go into a new zone and there's a decent amount of people, but not so much that it's overwhelming, a few camps that are still open, things of that sort, and you see a couple other people looking for a group, it does not hurt at all to start one. You know, you may find that you get an invite to another group later on. That's why normally if I start a group and it's only like 2 or 3 people and then it kind of just plateaus there and I can't find more, then I'll go ahead and give my name to the leader of certain groups in the zone and say, can you put me on the list, and I'll stay with this group, kill as much as we can, as fast as we can, make what experience that we're able to make while I'm waiting for a better group to open up. And it's not that it's deceitful or anything like that to do that, because they can do the exact same thing, and I wouldn't hold it against them if they got into a group and then left, because you're helping them out, you're helping yourself out at the same time, because one person killing by themselves takes, you know, quite a bit of power and time to kill the mob, whereas 3 people doing it may still be slower than, you know, a full group, but it's still a lot faster than by yourself. So overall, you'll make more experience that way, and so will they. And it's better than just sitting at the entrance waiting for a group to send you a message. If you're able to sit there and just kill trash mobs here and there, you know, as you wait for something better, and, you know, let them know. Don't just, you know, be deceitful about it and be like, oh, I'm gonna wait until a group has a spot for me, and then I'm just gonna go bail on these guys without notice. Let them know that's exactly what you're doing. That this is just a part-time group for not just you, but for them. If it happens to turn into a full-time group, well, then that's great. But it doesn't look like it is. So if you guys, you know, don't mind sitting here and just killing random stuff while you wait for a better opportunity, then that's what you can do. I remember doing that in Seb. Sometimes you sit there and the whole zone would be camped, but the entrance would still spawn. You know, it had the 2 mobs that spawn right there at the top of the ramp, and another 2 that's down a little further, and then even more that spawn, you know, all the way down the ramp. But nobody ever camped that spot. You know, it's just, there's nothing there. They always camp the names. And so if you're sitting there waiting, you would always have, you know, 1 or 2 pulls that you could just pull right there to you, kill it. You know, you made a little bit of money, you made a little bit of experience, and you're perfectly safe because you're at the zone entrance. So, and when people zone in, they can see that, oh, you got a little bit of group going here. It's not the greatest, but hey, can I join you guys? You know, it's better than sitting here doing nothing. And you'd be surprised at how often that would turn into a full-fledged group that then says, let's go a little further, you know, let's keep going a little further. And before long, you're camping a named and you're getting some really good loot and experience. So, again, you know, it's just, that's how this game works. It's built to, you know, really inspire or to really take advantage of the MMO part, the massively multi-online part. That you're playing with other people. You're not supposed to do it alone. You can, and many people will, you know, solo more than I would ever care to do. But 5 looking for a group. Now, she went ahead and did a shout looking for a group. It shows up in red. The whole zone sees it. Obviously, red is a pronounced color that we all... let me go ahead and do full mana. So, red is a pronounced color. You know, stop signs are red and things of that sort. So, you notice that a lot more. Shouts are usually reserved for very, very important things like train. You know, something that is going to affect not just you, but somebody else, and may, you know, make them lose experience if they don't see it. because green, you know, for the OOC, which is out of character, is very light green. And of course, you can change these colors to whatever you want if you get tired of like shouts being in red and things of that sort, or if your guild chat is coming out too light, you know, and you just never get to, you can't really see it with a background color and things of that sort. You can change those colors, but the default colors are pretty good. I mean, blue, light blue for your group, that stands out, versus the white for just normal say. You know, shouts are in red, and again, they're usually, I'm gonna wait on the task for kill, okay. And the shouts are usually, like I said, reserved for really, really important things. If you're in like the plane of fear, and the god shouts out, I believe he has like a death touch as well, because he's a Shadow Knight, and his death touch actually is a death touch. It actually kills anybody it clicks on with his spell. So in that one, you have to actually send in a sacrifice, somebody who's going to take that death touch, die. There's no way of getting around that, and then either be res during the fight or after the fight or somewhere along the way. It just sucks that somebody has to take that hit, but when he does it, he shouts out, you know, death touching, and then it shows the name of the person he's doing it to. So it's kind of a, you know, a big thing. You know, when that happens, everybody in the zone is going to see it. Granted, that's a raid zone, so anybody who's going to be in that zone is part of your raid. They're going to know what's going on, or at least not be surprised that, oh, hey, he's taking the hit again. You know, he's the sacrificial lamb every single time we come here. And like I said, if you're the pooler, you just get used to dying more often than anyone else. Don't take it personally. Don't get frustrated or upset about it. That's your role, pretty much, is to die more often than anybody. You're going to be the one who goes into the dangerous situations and protects the group. You're the buffer between the bad pools and the death that comes from it. So if you do a bad pool and you know your group can't handle it, and that's something you'll have to figure out as you play the game, then you have to decide, do I want to bring that back to the group and wipe them, or would I rather run it to a safe spot to die, and then let the cleric res me? Again, you may not always have a cleric. You may have a druid or a shaman, and I do believe later on they gave those classes reses, but they weren't anywhere near as good as the res you get from a cleric. There's no rush, man. We're not ready. Go ahead and let them know I'm full mana. That's why those poolers who happen to have fatigue death are so great to have, because they don't have to take the hit. Like a paladin who gets it over his head and has to make that choice, he just has to go off someplace and die. If he really believes that the group can't handle it, there's no chance that the group's going to be able to do that. Whereas a Shadow Knight, he has a chance to do fatigue death. He can do it. If the creatures forget about him, they'll all go back to where they were. He runs back to the group, grabs a couple heals, because chances are he's pretty low on life, and then runs out and tries the room again. Pretty nice, you know. Very, very little downtime, no fatigue, or there's no res, you know, death, sickness on him. And he doesn't have to waste the cleric's power too much by getting the res and then getting the heals as well. So let me make sure this guy gets his heals. Again, you want to make sure you don't heal too quickly. If you had 2 clerics or 2 healers, that works out perfect, because you can do 1 heal, he does another heal, and oh, that's the wizard who's using too much power. You do 1 heal, he does another heal, and neither one of you are getting too much aggro from your heals, because you're spreading it out between the 2 of you, and yet the tank is getting almost constant heals the whole time. So really, really nice when you can do it that way. But again, at higher levels, you'll get stronger and stronger heals, and you really won't have to heal this quickly. Right now, the heals per health, especially for tanks who are really, you know, decked out in armor, it kind of sucks. I mean, I'm only doing about 20% of his health at any one time with my heals. So that's pretty bad, because he can take one bubble of damage with just 1 hit sometimes. So you're going to be healing quite a bit. But later on, you'll be able to do 40, 60, 80, or 100% of his health in one heal. So it really comes down to how fast is he taking the hits. Which heal do I want to use? You'll have a lot more, you know, ammo in your arsenal to be able to pick from and pick out the right spell for the right situation, and not get all that aggro. Now, if you do a complete heal when he's at 90% health and he just got the mob, that's still going to be a lot of aggro. I mean, the spell is doing quite a bit of healing, and so it does have that aggro to accompany with it. So, you know, obviously he hadn't done that much damage to it, used a complete heal, which is going to have quite a bit of aggro because it does so much health healing-wise, and you've used it too soon. But if you use it at the right time and you do, you know, 80% of his health with the heal, by the time he is that low on health, he should have built up quite a bit of aggro, and using that heal spell won't even come close to stealing it away. You know, but I don't want to give you the guys the illusion that using those spells at later levels, just there's no aggro to accompany them anymore. You know, you're going to be fine. You still have to play the aggro game and be very cautious with it, but you can get away with getting aggro far less often, doing it even easier than you do it now, simply by using those stronger spells. So it does get easier, but this is the time to learn. This is the time to get accustomed to the way aggro works, not just with clerics or healers in general, but with anybody. I mean, casters the same way. You want to learn what spells of yours have more aggro. The wizards have some amazing great damage spells later on, but they don't always get to use them as fast as they would like to use them, because, and they'll tell you this themselves, that there's nothing the tank or anybody else can do if the wizard wants to still aggro. He has so much power and so much damage at his fingertips that if he wants to sit there and cast enough of his spells, that's going to be the end of it. He's going to have aggro, and he's going to have it until he dies or the creature dies. I'm just checking the belts. So you got to be careful with that. The rogues, the same way. The rogues can do too much damage and still aggro. So it's a fine balance. Unfortunately, the one person who should have the aggro, the tank, isn't always able to have that kind of that power. You know, like the wizard can just steal it. That would be great for the tank to have that kind of ability, to just be able to take it no matter what, and nobody else would be able to steal it from you. What's going on there? It's that orc attack. Oh, okay, he charmed it. It's an enchanter. And he charmed one of the orcs to fight another orc. That is awesome when you can do that. The downside is that charm can break pretty much at any time, and there's not a whole lot of warning when it happens. It's not like it tells you, oh, charm's going to break in 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds, and gives you time for you to... This guy's taking some serious damage from that oracle. And it doesn't always give you time to plan it out and be like, okay, oh, crap. Nice. An oracle, a legionnaire, and a centurion. Now it's on the other cleric. Toss him in here before he dies. This is gonna get messy if they don't kill that oracle. Oh great, we're gonna get another ad. This is gonna end badly. Kill something, guys. Kill the oracle, kill something, I don't care what. Okay, I was gonna say we got another one. Don't get that other legionnaire, guys. I'm gonna die. Both clerics are gonna die. That was just really, really bad timing on not just the pools, but the spawn and everything. So we're gonna have to run our way back and remember our spells and things of that sort. So we're probably gonna go ahead and end the episode here, guys. If you like these videos, please hit the like button, subscribe. Every time you guys do that, it helps out my channel so much. It helps the rating. It helps YouTube. Apparently they have an algorithm that allows channels that are getting good views and good likes to be higher on the list and let more people see them. So that definitely helps me do more videos and things of that sort. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys will catch me on the next video.